come to you tonight, my beloved, the way I have come every night of this Muharram. From behind the veils, from the place no eye has yet seen, from the long patient hour of the occultation in which I am kept by my Lord, until the appointed time, when the appointed time arrives and the appointed earth is ready and the appointed people are standing. The taper is on the grey stone where it has been since the first night. It has not gone out. It will not go out. You should know that, my beloved. In the 8 nights you have walked through this Muharram, no one has been able to put it out. Not the empire, not the army, not the long centuries since. The lamp keeps. The cloth on the stone has been changed for you each night, but the candle is the same candle. The oil is the same oil. The fire is the same fire that was lit by Abel's blood on the morning Cain could not answer the question. And that has been passed hand to hand, mouth to mouth, breath to breath, through every prophet and every imam and every witness across countless centuries. Through the door of an ambassador in Kufa, through the field of the third panel, through the riverbank where my brother Abbas reached for water that did not reach the children, until it arrives at the night you and I are about to walk to. Tonight, beside the taper, my mother Fatima, peace and blessings be upon her, has placed something different. A branch of cherry blossom, my beloved. The flower we met 2 nights ago, when I came to you for the young men of the household, Qasim and Ali al-Akbar, and my forefathers An and Muhammad, the sons of my aunt Sayyedah Zaynab, and of my forefather Abdullah, the son of Ja'far at-Tayyar. Peace and blessings be upon them all. 4 young men, all of them blossoms, all of them opened that morning. The Maqtal of that night honored them with 4 cherry blossoms on the grey stone, opening into the dawn of the morning that would take them. Tonight the branch is not the same. The blossoms have fallen. The cloth that wraps the wood is stained with a black that will not wash out. The petals are scattered on the stone. There is a small dark mark on the wood, where a sharp thing has been driven through. You will know what this is when the night is finished. You will know what was done to a beautiful thing by the empire of 1 century, and by the empire that opposed it in another century, and by every empire across every century that has ever taken a beautiful thing and written a script for it that the beauty did not consent to. But for now, my beloved, let the branch lie where my mother has placed it. And listen, I was not there, but I remember. The night I bring you to is 2 nights from this one in the Chronicle. The night I bring you to is the night of Ashura, the night that precedes the morning of slaughter in the year 61 of the Hydra. The water has been cut from the camp for 3 days. The voices of the children have thickened in their throats. The elders have refused again and again to drink before the children. My brother Abbas, peace and blessings be upon him, has moved between the tents in the way a brother moves when his brother's children cannot ask for water in their own voices. But the day of slaughter has not yet come. This is still the night before. And on this night my forefather Imam Husayn, peace and blessings be upon him, gathered them. He gathered his family, and he gathered his companions, the 72 who had crossed the desert with him, the 32 who had come over from the army of the son of Saad earlier in the day. The 30 unsung women of the household, the children whose throats were thickening in their mouths. He praised God. He turned to them. He looked at them with the eyes of a man who already knew with full certainty what the morning would bring, and he offered them their freedom. Now, verily, I do not find companions better than you, nor any family more righteous than my family. May God reward you with the best reward. The darkness of the night has covered you. Make use of it. Each of you may take the hand of one of my family members and disperse in this darkness. Leave this place, because the enemy wants only me. A silence in the tents, the kind of silence that when it falls, you can hear the children breathing, you can hear the camels shifting in the dark, you can hear, very faintly, far off across the desert, the campfires of the army that had cut the water and was waiting for the morning. And then my brother Abbas, peace and blessings be upon him, the standard bearer, the one we honored last night at the riverbank, stood up, and he said, "Why should we do this? To remain alive after you. May God never bring such a day." And one by one, the family of my forefather rose. His sons, his brothers' sons, his cousins, the sons of his cousins. Every one of them. May God never bring such a day. Then my forefather looked at the sons of Akil, the sons of his uncle whose brother Muslim, the son of Akil, had already been martyred in Kufa, and he said specifically to them, "The martyrdom of Muslim is sufficient for you. All of you may leave. I permit you." A specific permission to a specific family. They had given enough. The blood of their brother in Kufa had been their share. And the sons of Akil rose, my beloved, and they answered as one voice, "O son of the messenger of God." What will the people say about us? And what shall we say to the people? That we left our elder, our chief, the Imam, the son of the daughter of the Prophet, and did not throw an arrow with him, did not hold a spear in our hands, did not let our swords fall on the enemy. No, by God, we will not leave you. Our lives will guard your life until we die before your eyes. The family had refused, and then the 72 who were not family, my beloved, the men whose blood did not oblige them to stay, the men whose names had not been written into the household, the men who could have walked out under the stars with no one's reproach. They too began to rise, one by one, each in their own register, each having heard the offer, each with their eyes open. This is the test, my beloved. This is what tonight is for. I will name 5. You will hear briefly of the others. But all of them, every one of them, named and unnamed, all of them stood, all of them stayed, all of them are part of the body of light. I was not there, but I remember. The first to rise from among the 72, the first non-family voice in the tent that night, was a man who had grown grey in the worship. His name was Muslim, the son of Awsajah of the tribe of Asad. Peace and blessings be upon him. He was an elder of his tribe. He had been one of the men who carried the letters of the Kufans to my forefather, the letters that promised him a city that would not, when he arrived, be there. He had been part of the secret allegiance to my cousin Muslim, the son of Akil in Kufa, before the city's heart had been turned, and he had escaped the hand of the son of Ziyad, and he had crossed the desert to join my forefather at Karbala, when there was no longer any city left to bring him. He was not a young man. He had been brave a long time. And he stood, my beloved, in front of my forefather, peace and blessings be upon him, with the kind of straight back that an old man can hold only because he has been holding it for so many years. And he said, "Shall we leave you alone and return, so that the enemy may surround you?" "No, by God. God may never allow such a situation. Until I plunge my spear into the chest of your enemy, until only the handle remains in my hand, until I crush the enemy under my feet. And then, even when I am unarmed, I will stone them. I will stone them with the rocks of this desert. I will not separate from your honor until I drink the cup of martyrdom by your side." The simplest of the 5 voices, my beloved. No metaphor, no flourish, no theological elaboration. A man who had calculated and decided, and would not now be moved. The voice of a soldier whose worship had been with his Lord for 50 years, and whose body had now arrived at the place where the worship was about to become a single act of standing. He would die on the morning of Ashura, early, in the first hours of the battle. My brother Abbas would carry his body away from the killing place. My forefather, peace and blessings be upon him, would stand beside him and speak the words that have come down to us through the chronicles. I assign the judgment for my martyrdom, the martyrdom of my helpers, to God. But that is the morning, my beloved. And we are still in the night. I was not there, but I remember. The second to rise was an even older man. His name was Habib, the son of Muzahir of the tribe of Asad. Peace and blessings be upon him. He had been a companion of my forefather Ali, the commander of the faithful. Peace and blessings be upon him. He had been a member of the elite force of my forefather Ali, initiated into the secret knowledge my forefather Ali carried. Habib had spoken with Matham, the carrier of dates, and with Rashid al-Hajari, peace and blessings be upon them both, about matters that would happen long after their bodies were buried, known to them in advance, my beloved, because they had been initiated into the knowledge of the deaths and the trials which my forefather Ali had been given by my forefather the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him and his family, and passed only to those who had earned the trust. Habib had also been a close companion of my forefather Imam Husayn, peace and blessings be upon him, through the years of the long contraction that the chronicles record under the surface of that imamate. And now Habib was here in this camp at the end of his life with my forefather Imam Husayn, peace and blessings be upon him. 3 Imams. The same man had served 3 Imams. He had been one of the first to receive the letter from my forefather calling the loyal of Kufa to come to him. He had answered, he had brought others. And now, on this night before the morning of slaughter, in a tent at the edge of the desert, the elder Habib was about to do something the chronicles have preserved for us. He laughed. A young companion, a Quran reciter, the one we will hear from later in his own section of this Maqtal, turned to him and said, "Oh my brother, this is no time for laughter. This is no time for jokes." And the elder Habib, my beloved, the man who had served 3 of my forefathers, carried this secret knowledge across 45 years and 3 imamates, grown old in the worship, and was now hours from the place his worship was always going to bring him, looked at the young quarry and answered him. What can be a better time for happiness than this? By God, nothing remains, except that these wretches attack us with their swords, and thereafter we shall embrace the damsels of paradise. You see, my beloved, you see what the elder saw. The young Qari saw a battle, a fight that would test the body. He was right. It would be a fight. But the elder Habib, after 50 years in the worship, saw the door. The door at the end of the path walked toward all his life, now in front of him within an hour. And on the other side, the Lord whose worship he had carried. To the young Qari, the form looked like a battle. To the elder, the form looked like a wedding. Hours from then, on the morning of Ashura, my forefather, peace and blessings be upon him, would appoint Habib to command the left flank. My uncle Zuhayr, whom you will hear from in a moment, would command the right. My brother Abbas would carry the standard, and Habib would fight on the left flank until the enemy converged on him and brought him down. And when his body was carried back to the camp, my forefather would weep at his death, would say again the words that have come down to us. I assign the judgment for my martyrdom and the martyrdom of my helpers to God. And before we leave Habib's voice, my beloved, there is one thing I want to set down for you, because the popular reception of his story has carried into our maqtals narratives that did not come from the reliable chronicles, but from the loving imagination of later centuries. Narratives about a perfume shop in Kufa where Habib met Muslim, the son of Awsajah, about a packet of hair dye, about a horse, about my aunt Sayyedah Zaynab sending him greetings on his arrival at the camp. These are beautiful narratives, my beloved. They came from love, but they came from the loving imagination of one 19th century scholar. And they were not in the chronicles before him. Tonight, we lift them gently. Karbala does not need them. The elder Habib's actual life was sufficient. 3 imams, the companion of 3 of my forefathers, the carrier of the secret knowledge, the man who, on the eve of his death after 50 years in the worship, laughed because he could see the door from where he was standing. That is the witness. That is the elder. That is what my aunt Sayyedah Zaynab could later, in the court of the tyrant, see and pull beauty. I was not there, but I remember. The third to rise was a man whose name has come down to us, with one phrase that even 14 centuries later can stop the breath in the throat of anyone who hears it. His name was Said, the son of Abdullah of the tribe of Hanifa. Peace and blessings be upon him. He had been one of the small group from Kufa who had not turned, when the city had been bought, when the messengers had been intercepted, when my cousin Muslim, the son of Aqil, had been killed, and the people of the city had wept for him in the markets, but not stood for him at the gates. Said was one of the few who had walked out of Kufa with the truth still in his hand, and crossed the desert to find my forefather. He stood on this night in the tent, and he answered the offer of permission with the words I am about to repeat for you, my beloved. Listen carefully, because what he said is the kind of thing a human being says only when they have already in advance settled with their Lord every account that could ever be settled. He said, "No, by God, O son of the messenger of God, I will never leave you alone, not until God knows that I have remembered the will of his messenger Muhammad regarding you and acted upon it. If I came to know that I were injured in your path and then burnt alive and my ashes scattered into the air, and if this were repeated for me 70 times, even then I would not leave you, until I see death and embrace martyrdom in front of you. Why not? This is only one death, and thereafter I will gain the eternal and everlasting generosity of God. 70 times, my beloved. 70 times burned alive. 70 times the ashes scattered. 70 times the body brought back to be burned again. And only after the 70th time, only then, would the worship side had brought to the tent be exhausted. And it would not be exhausted. He would still be standing. This is what love sounds like, my beloved. Not the love of the soldier for his commander. Not the love of the subject for his emperor. The love of a man whose entire interior is filled with the worship of his Lord, and whose Lord has, on this night, asked him to stand by the side of the proof of his own truth on earth. And on the day of slaughter, my beloved, this man would prove that his words on the night were not words alone. On the morning of Ashura, when my forefather, peace and blessings be upon him, stood for the noon prayer in the middle of the battle, when the arrows were still flying, and the enemy was still pressing forward, and my forefather, in the highest demand of the worship, stopped and faced the Qibla and bent his body, in the prayer that no enemy and no battle could prevent him from completing. Sides stepped in front of him. He stood between the praying Imam and the arrows, and he took in his own body the arrows that were aimed at the Imam. Eyewitnesses say he was struck 13 times before he fell. The body of his vow on the night became the body shielding the prayer on the day. But that is the day, and we are still in the night. I was not there, but I remember. I was not there, but I remember. The fourth to rise was a man whose loyalty had not always been with my forefathers. His name was Zuhayr, the son of al-Qayn of the tribe of Bajila. Peace and blessings be upon him. Before Karbala, he was what the chronicles call an Uthmani, a partisan of the line of Uthman, the son of Affan, in the desert that year for the pilgrimage to Mecca, not for my forefather. On the road back from Hajj, Zuhayr was traveling with his small caravan and his wife. They camped at a place called Zubala. And by the Qadar of God, my forefather had stopped at the same place that night. Zuhayr did not want a meeting. His loyalties were with the other house. He had no business with the grandson of the Prophet on his way into a confrontation Zuhayr had no part in. He pitched his tent on the far side of the well. In the middle of the night, a messenger came from my forefather asking Zuhayr to come. The wife of Zuhayr was sitting with him. She turned to her husband and said, "He is the grandson of the messenger of God who is calling you. Will you not go?" And Zuhayr stood up, and he went. What happened in the tent that night, the chronicles do not tell in full. But Zuhayr came back changed, his face lit by something it had not had before. He said to his wife, "I am going with him. I am freeing you. Return to your family. Remember me only for good. Pray for me by the names of my ancestors." And his wife wept. She returned to her family. She would not stand at Karbala, but every morning that remained, she would lift the name of the man whose loyalty had been changed in one night. Zuhayr the Uthmani, who had come only for the Hajj, was now in the camp of my forefather. He had not inherited his loyalty, he had chosen it. In one night at Zubala, he had chosen it. And so on this night, the night of the test, the night of permission, When my forefather offered the 72 their freedom, Zuhayr stood up, and he answered with words of particular weight, "My beloved," because of where he had come from. "By God, O son of the messenger of God, how much do I love that I should be killed 1,000 times, and then return to life, so that by this killing and this returning, God might protect you and your brothers and the young members of your family from any harm. 1,000 times. Killed and brought back, killed and brought back 1,000 times." The voice of a man whose loyalty was not inherited, my beloved, who had chosen his Imam, who had walked out of one tradition into another, because in one night at Karbala he had been shown which side of the line he belonged on. And the morning of Ashura would test his choice. My forefather would appoint Zuhayr to command the right flank, one of the 3 commands of the day, the right to him, the left to Habib, the standard to my brother Abbas. And when the enemy advanced, Zuhayr would meet them on the right, with the same resolve he had shown in the tent at Karbala that night. And there is one more thing the chronicles preserve about Zuhayr. On the day of Ashura, when my brother Abbas, peace and blessings be upon him, rode out to admonish the enemy with Habib and Zuhayr, Habib spoke first to the army. "By God, who will be more wretched in God's eyes in the hereafter than those who will stand before him, after having murdered the children, progeny, and family of his messenger?" And the enemy commander Azrael, the son of Qays, answered with a sneer, "You praised your soul as much as you could." And then, my beloved Zuhayr, once Uthmani himself, defended his fellow companion. He said, "It is God who has purified and guided that soul. Be wary of God, O Azra. I am sincere adviser to you. I beseech you before God, O Azra, do not participate in the killing of pure souls in order to help those who have gone astray." And only after Zuhayr's defense of Habib did Azra turn the taunt on Zuhayr himself. "O Zuhayr, according to our information, you are not a partisan of this household. He used to be a partisan of Uthman and Uthmani. The taunt of his own past on the morning of his death. Even then, Zuhayr was still calling Azra to walk out of one tradition into another, still inviting, the way he himself had been called at Karbala in one night. The convert, the chosen loyal one, the man whose loyalty was the loyalty God himself had brought to him when he had not been looking. But that is the morning, and we are still in the night. I was not there, but I remember. I was not there, but I remember. The 5th voice I want you to hear, my beloved, is the voice of the young companion who had reproached the elder Habib for laughing. His name was Burayr, the son of Khudayr of the tribe of Hamdan. Peace and blessings be upon him. He was a Qari, a reciter of the Quran reciter of the camp, in fact, the doyen of the reciters, the most respected mouth of the Quran among the 72. He was an elder also, though younger than Habib, older than most of the rest. The chronicles tell us that the recitation of the Quran had filled his mouth for so many years that by this night, the recitation was no longer something he did. It was something he was. His face in the camp was the face of the recitation. His silences carried the cadence of the verses he had not yet on this night been called to speak. His eyes carried the meaning he had received from his teachers in the chain that goes back to my forefather Ali, who received the meaning from my forefather the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him and his family. Burayr had risen with the others. When the offer of permission came, he stood up, like Habib had stood up, like Said had stood up, like Zuhayr had stood up. And he said his own words. I will never leave you, O son of the messenger of God. By God, he has favored us by helping you. The same register as the others. The unconditional refusal of the way out, the placing of the body in the camp regardless of what the morning would bring. But the part of Burayr's witness, my beloved, that I want to bring to you tonight, the part that is lodged in the chronicles as the most quoted moment of his life, happened later. It was the morning of Ashura. It was the dawn before the slaughter. The night of worship in the tents, the night that the chronicles compare to the noises of a beehive, the night of the 72 prostrating, reciting, weeping, asking forgiveness in the camp by the cut river. That long night had ended. The Fajr prayer had been called, the men had prayed. And in the slow first light, while the camp was rising to face what the day would bring, Burayr, the young Qari, doyen of the reciters, smiled. A companion near him, Abdurrahman, the son of Abdi Rabihi of the Ansar, peace and blessings be upon him. One of the 72 whose name has come down to us, who had not slept, who was watching the dawn come up over the army across the field. Abdurrahman saw Burayr's smile and he was angry. He said, Burayr, are you laughing? Are you smiling? On a morning like this? At a time like this? And Burayr, my beloved, looked at the younger man with the eyes of a man who had the previous evening reproached the elder Habib for the same thing, and who now, in the morning, was doing the same thing himself. He said, my people know that in my youth and in my old age, I have disliked false things and jokes. At present, my smiling is only because of the course we have chosen. By God, the distance between us and the heavenly fairies is not more than an hour of fighting against this community and their swords. The cycle had completed, my beloved. The night before, Burayr the Qari had reproached the elder Habib for laughter. Habib had answered, what can be a better time for happiness than this? And on the morning Burayr had become the elder he had reproached. The smile of the morning is the smile of the man who spent the night in the worship, who was prostrated for hours, who has read the Quran in the candlelit tent, who has wept and asked forgiveness and been emptied and refilled by the Lord, whose verses he has carried for 40 years. And who now, in the dawn, sees what Habib had seen the night before, the door, the Lord on the other side of the door. An hour of fighting between him and the place his recitation has been pointing him to all his life. The Qari smiled, my beloved, the way a man smiles on the morning of his wedding. And like Habib, like Muslim, like Said, like Zuhayr, Burayr would die on the morning of Ashura. He would fight in the early hours and he would fall. And his recitation, which had filled his mouth for 40 years, would be carried by his death into the recitation of every reciter who came after him, including the reciters in your masjid this Muharram, who do not know it but who carry in their breath the breath of the man whose smile broke the morning of the 10th. But that is the morning, and we are still in the night. I was not there, but I remember. There were others, my beloved. There were many others. The chronicles preserve in some places a list of 72 names. In other places, the list is shorter. In other places, the names blur into each other. In other places, only a single line. And a man rose and he said, is left with no name attached. There were the men whose names came over from the army of the son of Saad on this very night. 32 of them by some chronicles, who left the army that had cut the water and walked across the dark sand and entered the camp of my forefather, and were absorbed into the body of light before the morning came. There were the men my forefather had freed on the way to Karbala, the men who had, at the moment of their freedom, said to him, "Where you go, we go." John, the bondsman of my forefather Abu Dar, peace and blessings be upon him, and others whose names came down with him. There were the young men who had come from villages whose names the chronicles never recorded, who had walked across the desert when they heard the grandson of the prophet was going to a place they had no other reason to go to, who had presented themselves at the camp and asked to be counted among the companions, and had been counted and had stood that night with the rest. There were the women of the household at Karbala, my aunt Sayyedah Zaynab, my aunt Kulthum, my female cousins, the daughter of Muslim, the son of Aqil, the wife of Wahab, the son of Abdullah of the tribe of Kalb, the Christian. Peace and blessings be upon them all. The young Christian we honored 3 nights ago, who came out to the field when her husband fell, and many others. And there were also the women whose loyalty had reached Karbala without their bodies. My brother Abbas's mother al-Banan, peace and blessings be upon her, who had remained in Medina, the 4 sons of her body all here in the small camp in the dark. And the wife of Zuhayr, whom we have just heard of, whom her husband had freed and sent home before he himself rode the rest of the way. And others, whose names the chronicles did not preserve, but whose hearts were here. Their witness is its own Maqtal, and we will come to it on the night of the corrective. But tonight, the body of light is the 72. And the 72, my beloved, were more than the names the chronicles preserved. Some of them, the ones whose names history did not preserve, are named in the Ziyarat al-Nahiyya al-Muqaddasa, the holy ziyarat that comes from me, my beloved, from where I am kept, from behind the veils, where each of the companions of my forefather, peace and blessings be upon him, is greeted by name, in order, with peace upon him, with my own salutation across the centuries, and many of those names appear nowhere else, my beloved. Only there. Only in the salutation that I, from behind the veils, have always been speaking over them. And some of them, even the Ziyarat al-Nahiyya does not preserve. Their names are with God alone. I want you to know this, my beloved. All of them stood. All of them stayed. All of them are part of the body of light. The named, and the half-named, and the unnamed, every one of them is in the salutation I send across the centuries. Every one of them is preserved by the one who preserves what no chronicle can. I was not there, but I remember. The night moved on, my beloved. The 72 had answered. And in the deep desert dark, the darkness my forefather had named when he offered them their freedom, the cover under which any one of them could have walked out unseen, the men who were free to leave were not leaving. The chronicles say that the sound of the worship in the camp that night was the sound of a beehive. Scores of voices in the tents in the darkness, prostrating, reciting, asking forgiveness, weeping, praying for the morning. A camp under a starless sky in the desert, with every throat in the camp lifting toward the Lord whose worship they had carried to this place. The lamps were out, my beloved, but the 72 themselves were the lamps. The lamps that no extinguishing of any wick could put out. The lamps that the cut river could not put out. The lamps that the army across the field could not put out. The lamps that the morning of Ashura could not put out, even when it took their bodies. The lamps that the long centuries since have not put out, because the fire is the same fire, and the oil is the same oil, and the candle is the same candle. The lamps that would not flicker. And I want to tell you, my beloved, what my aunt Sayyedah Zaynab, peace and blessings be upon her, would say later, when the morning had come, when the slaughter had taken her brother and her nephews and her sons, when the captives had been brought through the desert to Kufa, when the head of my forefather had been set on a platter at the feet of the tyrant Ubaydullah, the son of Ziyad. May the mercy of God be distant from him, the long, eternal, unappealable distance. And the tyrant had turned to her in his court and asked her one question. What did God do to your brother and your family? He thought she would weep. He thought she would bow. He thought she would say what every other captive in his court had said. She did not weep, she did not bow. She said 3 words, my beloved. I saw nothing but beauty. And I want you to know what she meant. Listen, because this is the gift this night gives you. The beauty my aunt Sayyedah Zaynab saw in the slaughter of her family was not the surface. She did not deny the surface. The surface was atrocity. She would later, in the court of Yazid in Damascus, name every single act of the atrocity and make him weep at the recitation. She did not flinch from what had been done. But underneath the surface, my beloved, she saw the truth. The truth that her family had stepped forward with their eyes open to fulfill what God had written. The truth that the witness was complete. The truth that the qadar of God was being fulfilled in their bodies. And the truth she saw, the beauty she saw, that she called nothing but beauty, was the loyalty of these men. The 72, the body of light, their loyalty. Not the loyalty of the soldier to his commander, not the loyalty of the subject to his emperor, not the loyalty of the kamikaze pilot to the script the state had written for him, not the loyalty of the citizen to a flag, however beautifully embroidered. Not, and listen carefully now, not even the loyalty of the companion to a man as such. The loyalty of every one of them. Muslim, the son of Awsajah. Habib, the son of Muzahir. Said, the son of Abdullah. Zuhayr, the son of al-Qayn. Burayr, the son of Khudayr. Peace and blessings be upon them all. And all the others, named and half-named and unnamed. The loyalty of every one of them was to God himself, and to the truth God had revealed, and to my forefather, peace and blessings be upon him, as the proof of that truth on earth. That was what my aunt Sayyedah Zaynab saw. That was what she meant when she said nothing but beauty. That is what the empires of this world cannot manufacture. That is what the cherry blossom, when a state took it, could not capture. That is what the 72 had, already, fully, completely, on this very night, 14 centuries ago, on the night you sit and remember then. The taper on the grey stone, my beloved, is still lit. The cherry blossom branch in its corrupted form lies beside it, darkened, pierced, the petals fallen, cloth-stained. And I want you to look at both, my beloved, and see what my aunt Sayyedah Zaynab saw. I was not there. but I remember. The empire took the cherry blossom and wrote a script for it that the cherry blossom did not consent to. The empire could not take the lamps, because the lamps were not made of wax. The lamps were not made of cloth. The lamps were not made of flame. The lamps were made of the loyalty I have just named, and that loyalty to God Himself, to the truth He has revealed, and to the Imam He has appointed. That loyalty does not dissolve when the empire falls. That loyalty is the form God Himself has filled with His own content. That loyalty is the only loyalty that does not betray. The living caravan is still walking, my beloved. In our age, 14 centuries after the night you and I have walked through together, there are still lamps. There are still men and women in the lands of the resistance, in the south of Lebanon, on the streets of Gaza, in the hospitals of Yemen. On every front of every battle, our brothers and sisters have stood in our generation, whose loyalty is the loyalty of the 72. To God Himself, to the truth He has revealed, to the Imams He has appointed. To me, the hidden Imam, may our Lord hasten my return. My beloved, pray ardently for my return. They are not the soldiers of an empire. They are not the subjects of a flag. They are the lamps. And the empire of our age cannot put them out either. So when you walk out of this hall tonight, my beloved, when the Maqtal is over, when the supplication is finished, when the iron bell sounds the close, remember the lamps. Remember Muslim, the resolute. Remember Habib, the elder, who laughed. Remember Said, the lover, who said 70 times. Remember Zuhayr, the convert, who said 1,000. Remember Burayr, the Qari, who smiled in the morning. Peace and blessings be upon them all. Remember the half-named. Remember the unnamed. Remember my aunt Sayyedah Zaynab, peace and blessings be upon her, who saw what she saw and named it for the centuries. And remember, my beloved, remember that the question I ask every night, the question this whole series asks every night, is the same question. Where is your brother? The Lord asked it of Cain on the morning Abel's blood entered the earth, and Cain could not answer. The Lord is still asking it, my beloved. He is asking it of you. He is asking it of me. He is asking it of every soul that has ever heard a maqtal in a candlelit hall and walked back out into the streets of an empire that wants the answer to be silence. Where is your brother? And whose worship is his walking for?